John F. Kennedy once said, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard." He was talking about possibly the greatest human achievement ever, the lunar landing. But in our own time, we can challenge ourselves to do even better. We can challenge ourselves to literally go even further. We can go to Mars. Martian exploration would drive new interest in science and technology. A Mars landing would literally usher in a new human experience, new human expansion. We could become a true interplanetary species. Most importantly, it would give Americans and the world something to unite around and be proud of. Now, Mars wouldn't be the first expedition off planet. We've already successfully landed on the moon back in 1969. Now, landing on the moon had great scientific accomplishments, bringing back the moon rocks, development of the Saturn V rocket, but it also had very micro things. Things as small as Velcro, Teflon, power tools, microprocessors. All these things were developed to get that man standing on the lunar surface, looking back at the Earth. Now with Mars, we could have a very similar level of progression. There would be great big things like terraforming and other such things, but some of the smaller things that we could bring back on just our level, things that me and you would be able to use, would be something like greenhouses. So Earth uses hectares of land to create a small amount of food. On Mars, they don't really have that option. They need to make maximum use of literally every inch of soil they have. They would create new systems, more economic ways to set up greenhouses, to create food to sustain themselves. By bringing that same development back to Earth, it would help sustain our planet and make it more likely we live for a very long time right here. There's also selfishly a lot of financial gain on Mars. Right below the surface, there's not millions, there's not billions, there's not trillions. There are quadrillions of dollars worth of mineral resources that are scarce on Earth already and we're running out quick. If they could find an economic way to bring these back, that would mean quintillions of dollars worth of profit for whoever can figure out how to do it. Now, we know we can go to Mars. We've already done it a couple times. We've landed rovers. You'll see here blue lines are successful American missions out to Mars. Some have just been flybys, some have been orbiters, others have been rovers that land on the surface. We've successfully done that 4 times. Now, these rovers have already yielded significant scientific gains. They found proof that life probably used to exist on Mars. They found proof that there probably was water on Mars. These things actually make it quite viable to have a permanent human colony there. Now, in order to have this colony, NASA had to find an unlikely ally. The private industry company known as SpaceX, owned by Elon Musk. SpaceX has been in the news recently for successfully pairing a Dragon crew capsule with the ISS. It was actually the first time a private company has docked with the ISS, so it was pretty big news already. They've proven they're good partners. Now their vision for Mars isn't some modest exploration. We land, walk around in the sand a little bit, take some pictures, plant a flag and come back. They want to establish a permanent human presence on Mars. They want to establish a self-sustaining, viable colony that's on a permanent status. Now in this colony you'll see things like greenhouses, community service centers, apartments, everything that people need to live comfortably on the Martian surface and sustain themselves for an immeasurable amount of time going forward. They don't want this to just be a fleeting period of time that we all watch and celebrate at once. They want it to be something that's permanent, that next big step for humankind. Now, you can't just do this with every planet, but here they want to do terraforming. So terraforming means terra, earth, form, make. It means make like Earth. Up here you'll see contemporary Mars, a big red dust ball desert planet. Bottom right you'll see a little blue marble that kind of resembles Earth. That's an artist's conception of what Mars could look like in as little as 200 years after terraforming starts. How do we terraform, you might ask? Simple, and we already know how to do it. It's called global warming. So while global warming may be a disaster here on Earth, it's actually just what the doctor ordered on Mars. Global warming on Mars will thicken the atmosphere, cause pressure to increase, which in turn will cause heat to increase, which will melt ice on the polar ice caps and bring vapor down onto the surface, creating oceans, rivers, and other things like that. After we've done that, algae gets planted. Algae creates oxygen. Bam, we have a viable, livable planet that you don't need a spacesuit to walk around in. You can walk around in shorts and a t-shirt just like you do at your house already. Now, we can't do this with every planet, as I mentioned before, because some are just too close to the sun. Venus, Mercury, they're too close, get too hot. Humans would not be able to survive there without adequate shielding from radiation. Jupiter gets too cold. There's no way we could ever have a permanent colony there. Mars and Earth, however, they're just right. That means Mars is our only viable permanent solution to off-world existence currently. Now, landing on Mars and establishing this colony wouldn't be something that just Americans get to celebrate. It would be the entire world. Newspapers across the US back when we landed on the moon celebrated the lunar arrival. Not just the US, literally people as far away as Japan, people as far away as the Faroe Islands who went so far as to commemorate it with a stamp. And newspapers across the globe all celebrated this as not just an American accomplishment, but a human accomplishment. The reason being is one of the beautiful things about science is it's apolitical. Science doesn't care what your politics are, doesn't care what country you're from, what color you are, what religion you have, what orientation you are. It just cares about the facts. Scientific accomplishment shows what true human potential is, what we can do when we set our minds as a unified people towards a common goal. Landing on Mars may be difficult, but it would yield dozens, if not hundreds, of practical results. Landing on Mars would bring us great financial gain and great societal gain. Landing on Mars would make Earth a better place to live by taking that technology and turning it into something we can use right here, right now. We should go to Mars, but first we must choose to go to Mars. Thank you.